Consumers around the world have been really looking forward to finally seeing augmented reality and virtual reality applications really mainstream. But we're still at a place where there's very limited adoption of the latest technologies. Both of you are building solutions in this market and trying to drive that adoption curve forward. Olive with Motiveforce, you've built some very interesting software and solutions, and Frantz with Visionaries 777, you've been doing the same thing. So when can we expect as consumers to see augmented reality and virtual reality applications mainstream?
Well, for us, we believe that in order to make it mainstream, we need to limit the friction. So for example, application downloads is a huge friction unless you have an amount of users which is, for example, like Pokemon Go, they managed to reach millions and millions of users because of the IP, the strong IP. But when you have, like, let's say, a small marketing campaign and you want to launch an AR experience, will that be really be so impactful? Not necessarily. So what is happening right now is that we are moving slowly to the web. So removing the application downloads and incorporating augmented reality experiences directly on the web. So while you're browsing a website, you could launch an immersive product experience in augmented reality, which just takes like few seconds to be activated.
And Oliver, are you seeing the developer community embrace the latest mobile technologies to get AR mainstream?
We don't think AR VR is mainstream in our life. It's because people use it for gaming, right? But we don't game for all day. So we learn and we work. So what we're trying to do is actually, do things that make VR, can be applied, and of course, those emerging technology, can help a lot, because like if you have, something like different technology like on hands or what, then you can manipulate the virtual world with your own hands.
Frantz, what do you think is going to be the first broad consumer application?
It will be for e-commerce. So let's say, as I was explaining before, if you have the capability to launch an immersive AR product experience within a website, then you could imagine that before you buy a product, you could place it in your house. Like, for example, you want to buy a new furniture, you can just drop it in your apartment, see if it fits in terms of measurements, see if it fits in terms of design, but without the need of downloading an app. So this will really make things more mainstream, and it can go for any kind of product. So I think Amazon is already actually trying this with a couple of products. So if we could imagine the whole world to be digitalized, every single product, and able to try them, then we could reduce a lot of problems, like, for example, product returns.
Well, I need brands to have the budgets to adopt the technology, and the good news is the cost has been coming down, but it's still very expensive to implement these solutions. What are your clients asking from you today, and what do you anticipate in the coming months and years?
Well, fortunately, our target customer is actually in the educational field and also the rehabilitation and elderly service field. So they really want to adopt the VR technology in the service. Not for gimmicky, not for some pop-up stuff, but they really want to use this kind of technology to improve the users' quality of life. Some of the problems they're facing, like for the kids, for the student, nowadays everybody is actually nurtured by those iPad, iDevice, mobile device, and when they're with a book, they don't have that much imagination like we did. They really need a lot of 3D visualization, virtual environment to help them to interpret some abstract concepts.
How about you, Frantz? Are you seeing an evolution in what your clients are asking for from today, and what do you think is going to happen?
Before, in the past, we were doing a lot of one-off projects that doesn't really, it just happens and doesn't leave after. And right now, the request that we get from our customers is more about scalability. How can we make a project evolve over time, and it becomes like a whole ecosystem of scalable experiences? If we build a 3D model of a car, we could potentially apply it to different channels, marketing, training, and also we could visualize it with AR glasses, with VR headset on your smartphone. So the whole reusability and scalability of the experiences, so that it just doesn't live alone on its own.